everybody, and welcome back to Destiny. We're here because I have heard that there's a nasty little lie going on about this glitch in Site 6. If you don't know the Site 6 glitch yet, it is a way to get out of the map, and you get to go look around at all the cool stuff that you're not supposed to see. But I've been hearing on the internet that everyone seems to think that there is no way out of that glitch. Well, I'm going to show you right now that there is. So, in order to get into the glitch, you jump up onto this light right next to the splicer key door, and you go back behind this wall, and we are out of the map already. I will say that you will need a sword. If you are a Titan, you will need Twilight Garrison. If you are a Hunter, you will need Bones of Ao. I honestly don't know about Warlocks. I don't play a Warlock anymore, unfortunately. So, I honestly don't know. But, you know, now at least we can see the outside of the map, which is the whole point of these sorts of glitches. And then this glitch has something special, and this is what, you know, has been catching everyone's attention lately. Is that if you go all the way down into this hell area as everything turns red and demonic and evil, you know, you can see down at the bottom there's a room. And normally from the mission itself you can actually see into this room. There's a pane of glass. I kind of screw up my landing here and I end up jumping into like the roof of the room rather than the room itself. This is where I have the most issues. I've never been a glitch kind of guy. I only did this because one of my friends wanted to do it, so I get very disoriented on the rare occasions that I go out of the map like this. So, give me a second while I, yeah, there we go. Nope, hold on, wait, I got it, I got this. Don't worry guys, I got this. I have this. I got it, yeah, there we go. Okay, so there's the room that you're supposed to be in. And you know, here's all this cool stuff that you can look at in greater detail now. You know, all of these research bits and Siva bullshit. But back here, there's a door, and it's a working door for some reason. Even though I mean, you can't even see it from here. You literally, there's no way to see this unless you glitch out of the map. So why could it possibly exist? And this is what everyone's, you know, been getting really worked up over, is this weird door in this room that you can't see and it works, and why is this here? What does it mean? Tell me what it means, Bungie! Anyway, what it means for most people is that they now have to go back to orbit and then load back into the Plaguelands if they want to do anything today. So if you go over here, you can see flashing in and out of existence over there is a bunch of grid work, and that's from the Iron Tomb mission. If you go to the Iron Tomb and you look around, you can actually kind of see these things poking into the room itself. But this is what's supposed to be, you know, supporting the whole thing there. And of course, because we're all glitchy, we can't see the rock wall that we're up against that has now sent us to our death. And you know, you can try as much as you want, unless you do really well, unless you get like the perfect spot, you're not gonna make it over onto the grid work there, and that grid work is key in getting out. So give me 1 second, because while I was recording this I kind of forgot where I'm supposed to go. And where you want to go is back on top of the room itself, and you're trying to get up to that little rocky shelf there. So you're going to want to jump across to this sort of angled bit, and you can see this outcropping here. And the outcropping is just low enough that if you have increased height you can get to it. So you want to get onto here, and you're basically just going to start making your way up and along these rocks. And you can see the rock wall again, sticking out into the cage area just a bit. You know, it's not fully visible because, again, we're in a glitched area as we wade through this rock. Because that's a thing that we can do. So once again, you're going to want to make sure you have full sword ammo because you're going to need it. And you're going to not want to do what I do right here because I get confused as to how far the rock wall goes. You can see it over to the right there, and I just completely screw that up altogether. Just no. Bye, dead body. Goodbye. We'll miss you. Bring in the next one. Okay, so what you're actually going to want to do is you're going to want to, instead of going left along the rock wall, you're just going to want to go just over to the right. Over to the actual girder work itself. And this is where, you know, Bones of AO or Twilight Garrison is going to start being really necessary. Because, you know, you could just sword climb up here. That is a thing. But if you pay enough attention, you can actually just run up certain girders here. They're flat enough. And I end up running into the rock wall again here. But this is what you want to have happen. This little, like, bubble effect that's going on. That is your cue that you have now gone far enough that the rock wall will no longer interfere with your movements. It will no longer impede your progress. And now you can just start going up. And you'll probably have to do at least a little bit of sword climbing at some point. I know I did. But, you know, after like 15 minutes of this, you will eventually be all the way up here. And again, I'm not totally exaggerating. This is a really long, drawn-out way of getting out of here. I fully admit that simply going to orbit and coming back will be easier. But you could probably make it over there. You can see the rest of the area from here. But I like to go up here just to, you know, kind of ensure my safety against my own stupidity. As we've seen thus far, I am prone to fucking up. So now you're just going to want to gravity shenanigans over back into the hell area. I like to call the area with the girders Purgatory. And now, if you get scared, you know, just use your super. You'll have it by now. Unless you've been using it to climb up the girders, you will have it by now. Don't worry. But now we can see the entry area to hell down there. We can see that huge slide that we go through. And now we can finally see the rest of the map as soon as we get to this point. And this is actually not too bad. You do still have to sword climb. But I was hoping that I wouldn't have to, but you do. So just go ahead and sword climb up to here. And once you get to the top of this thing, it'll get really easy because the spaces here are much more reasonable. They're much more human-sized. So now you're going to want to get onto one of these gray columns over to the left or right. I always go left because left is right. But mind the tank, as its little shockwave thing is the only thing that can hit you here, and it will send you flying if you aren't paying attention. So once you get up to about here, right around this little antenna thing, you can just jump up onto the roof, ceiling, whatever you want to call it. And now we can make our way back to the entrance, because if you remember at the beginning, we were underneath that room. So we're going to want to just kind of retrace our steps as best as possible, and that's the room that we want to be on top of. Again, I get greedy, but, you know, it's not that big a deal, as there is a floor underneath that floor. So we can just jump up onto this room, jump up onto that room. That right there, that's the friend that I was talking about that actually got me to do this in the first place. Joke's on him, I got out. So now, once you see these little spindly things, you're in the right place. So just go back along here, and you can see the room that we came in, and the wall is invisible on that side, which makes it a little bit confusing, but now we can just drop back onto the light, into the room, and we have escaped from Destiny Hell. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it. Farewell, and don't forget to praise the sun.